recognize our fault, and then repent. But from the beginning, shame is never condoned. In fact, in the beginning of the Bible, it describes Adam and Eve. Yeah, in Genesis as naked and unashamed. And think about it, this is perfection. This is the perfection of Eden.
Yeah.
And as soon as sin enters in, the apple and the snake and all of that.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like it just right in the middle of that story, it says they recognized that they were naked. Well, what does that have to do with it?
Right.
They felt ashamed. Had no shame before, but
Right.
now it's
The
in.
feeling.
And they hid.
Yes.
And think about that. The first reaction to sin is shame. That's a powerful
From the beginning.
emotion. Yeah, and it comes down. Let me just say this, and this I did some research.
Okay.
Guilt and shame actually live in separate parts of the brain.
Okay.
And this is
Oh, you dug deep.
well, it's like there's what the prefrontal cortex, the section of the brain
Yeah.
that deals with reason and morals and judgment, right?
Okay.
You know, you think this is right, this is wrong. That's
Decision
what
making.
guilt is,
Okay.
right? Shame is in a different part of the brain. It's some part called the posterior insula.
Okay.
And that's the one that deals with sensations, feelings, emotions, you know, and that's where the shame, but think about it, even though shame is emotional,
Yeah.
it manifests in actual physical things. Yeah, we feel self-blame and self-loathing and all that, but it's something in the pit of our stomach
Right.
and the tension in our neck and all of that.
Gotcha.
And in fact, you know, everyone goes through moments of shame. I mean, I'm not being, but most people, you know, go through it and they move through it. But
Okay.
some people, it becomes chronic, you know. They walk around with shame. You know, young people, you know, they're so shame focused. You know, you diss them, you disrespected me, you know, and they want to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, I want to, you know, I want to say, well, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, this kid is nothing.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't mean it that way.
Right.
But you
Right.
know what
Right.
I'm saying?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, what in the world are you know? But because everything to them is their rep.
Yeah.
You know, and because their world is so small and
That's all they protecting the little bit that they have. Yeah. So the bottom line is that you can be traumatized by some prior experience, such as sexual abuse, physical abuse, abandonment, etc. Due to your embarrassment and your humiliation, you take on the characteristics of shame.
Wow. Okay.
Thus, you mask over and never acknowledge that you are traumatized. Therefore, you never heal, and you must admit that there is a wound before you treat the wound.
Okay, I got it. So
don't just throw a Band-Aid over it.
Yeah.
Which we tend to do.
So something happened. I don't really know how to deal with it. I'm traumatized by it.
So I
cover over it.
And you had a great analogy about having a wound, a sore, and covering up, and then when somebody touches it.
Yeah.
Just because it's covered doesn't mean it's healed.
And the point is, covering it is fine.
Right.
But the point is
it
to
doesn't treat
the wound
there you go.
somehow
right.
so that it heals. You cover it to protect it.
There you go.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Covering the wound is what we call boundaries.
Okay.
And you should have boundaries to protect the wound.
Right.
The point is that you still have to treat it.
Yes.
You got it so that because the protection could just let the wound fester.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It never heals.
Yes.
And years later, somebody pumps, you know, and you ready to,
and just think when you're even when you're in the hospital, they change the gauze. They change. They don't keep the same wrapping on.
No, and when they change it, they put
redress
ointment. Well, they put ointment.
Yeah,
they put
redress
to
it.
Continue.
Yeah,
to,
dressing and
to
cream.
heal
And
it.
there you go.
Yes, and then protect it.
Right.
So the protection is the ointment underneath it. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That, but we kind of miss that.
Yeah.
All we do is just cover
it up.
and then we pretend that the wound
It's not there.
is not there.
Yeah.
There's another thing. I don't even know if I should even go into this, but it's called cognitive restructuring, and that's a big fancy. These fancy words. It means looking. It means looking for the roots.
Okay.
Number one, looking for the roots, but also having a vision of what it looks like being healed. In other words, you have to have a vision of where you're going, right, before you can walk toward it.
Right.
And part of that is so that you can go back and go to the roots. I mean, it sounds okay. You have to know where you're going so that you can look back and heal whatever the wound was, so that you can get to where you're going.
Right. Makes
You
sense.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, you should heal the wound.
Yeah.
But what they're saying, it helps you to have some idea. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Where I deal with young people. I was just telling you that. I deal with young people, right?
Yeah.
Coming together. They're ready to have a family.
Yeah.
They've never seen
A healthy.
Yes.
Yes.
They've never seen a healthy marriage.
Right.
Right? So part of it is dealing with all of the dysfunction that they grew up with.
Right.
Right? You know, they saw.
Because they think it's functional.
Yes. And explain to them that that's not functional.
Right.
You know, women and, men disrespecting women.
Right.
Women
right.
having to do all that. That ain't.
Right.
Yes, it
That's
goes.
not the norm.
That's right. And that's so important. That's so important to let them know that that's not right.
Right.
But we also try and give them a vision of what a healthy relationship looks like, so that when times get tough, they say, I want that.
Yeah.
Remember, forgive my French, but there's this concept, forgive me, Lord. We call hell no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When something happens, right?
Yeah.
And automatically you're like, hell no, we ain't going there. We ain't doing that, right?